Last time we did this, sorry, just closing the door to my room. I'm going to sit in my chair now. Last time we did this, I discussed the word impactful. Impactful. The conclusion we came to was that impactful did serve its purpose as a part of the English language, though the space it seemed to fill was more often than not co-opted from another better word, and thus, by existing and being so common, impactful was snubbing our more articulate and interesting points. Now, I was just thinking and considering all these words, the cop-out words that I mentioned. I was thinking of like. Now, I'm not great with essays, and that you'll understand a little more why when I get deeper into my point. I'm trying to get better, of course. But like, as a cop-out word, is a little more interesting than impactful, because impactful doesn't, at least to me, does not have a Y in the same way that like does. Impactful, you could trace it back to the reasoning I'm going to give for like, the usage of like. You could trace it back to those same origins, however, it's not as direct. I feel that like is it has a direct through line to, at least in the United States, and countries that have also adopted the worldly language practice or theory, whatever it's called. The word like comes from our inability to teach grammar in the public school system. Let me expand upon this a little. I was speaking with my philosophy teacher. I'm a high schooler. My philosophy teacher has been teaching for many years. If I had to guess, decades. I haven't asked her. And her claim, I was asking where an apostrophe went after a word. After she gave me, of course, the proper placement of the apostrophe, she mentioned that somewhere around the early 2000s, schools, specifically the English departments of American public schools, made the transition away from teaching grammar. Or sorry, this was earlier than the 2000s. This was late 90s, my bad. Made the transition away from teaching strict grammar rules for the sake is the wrong transition. Because they felt that those same skills could be picked up in a more worldly and a more integrated fashion simply by reading great books and speaking to intellectuals and speaking to academics, and the textbooks explaining how to structure English were redundant, just teaching something that would already come with time, like the ability to differentiate left from right. So thus, grammar education in the States was watered down pretty heavily. Now, stutter. Her explanation, I have not researched. That's the point of these little voice recording videos, is that it's me speaking off the dome. No editing. I have not researched whether or not what she said is true. However, I know, or the cause she assigned to be true, but I know that what she said was correct. I know this because I cannot properly structure or phrase my sentences. I would consider myself to be a pretty significant botching, actually, of the shift away from grammar education. I read a lot of old books in my formative writing years, which are still going, full fairness. And so I write like an antiquated old guy, but I also absorb a lot of social media. So interspersed in my antiquated old guy writing is newfangled, hyper casual crap. How do I put it? How can you put it better? Near fragmented sentences, not real words. Sorry, you can see it right there. Not real should be fake. Though I'd say that's more the fault of the old books, who tend to over-describe or fashion their sentences poorly, or at least in a way that's no longer accepted. But I know people, my parents' generation entirely, actually, who are very confident, every single one of them, in the department of essay writing and structuring. It's a thing that I don't have at all, actually. I'm realizing that very sharply as I'm writing my college essay. I don't know how to write a sentence. I only know how to put my thoughts onto a page in the way that I like to read, which is a way that is, first of all, not correct in the modern day and age, not generally accepted, and also hard for other people to understand. So, moving back to, wow, that's a huge fat tangent. Moving back to our culprit today, like this, like that, like other. If I had to guess, the reason that so many people will intersperse like between every word in every sentence as much as they can. I was like at the grocery store, right? And I was looking for some mangoes, you know, and like are kind of the same thing. It's because they don't have the ability to form those sentences. Notice there's not that many old people, old as in 40 plus, who overuse like. Now, you could attribute that to better education and grammar that's exactly what I'm sorry, I'm a little loopy, I don't know why, I have no excuse. You could attribute that to older age, wisdom, and a larger vocabulary, just more experience saying sentences, or you could kind of dig a little at the roots, because some of the older millennials who did go through the high school and the elementary and middle school education in the 90s are pretty reliant on like. I know quite a few people who will fall into the like patterns and they're like 35, or 40 almost. Not 40, pushing 40. That kind of age. I'd venture to say that, sorry, I need to get back to my thesis. I'd venture to say that like is a product of children not having a proper or structured education that teaches them the necessary grammar and syntax to express their ideas. Such they fall back on the etc., the modern day etc., except etc. was used to extend a sentence, extend an implied series of points, whereas like is just kind of a meaningless connector that they use to fill space when we used to fill space. I should not exclude myself from this. We used to fill space when we don't know how to express our ideas, which all goes back to no longer teaching grammar. I'm sorry, I feel like I've been repeating myself. I don't actually, last time I had the excuse of being sick. I don't have an excuse this time. That's my apologies. I'm not going to re-record this, though. It's not in my fashion. I got done editing the last video, an hour ago or something. And I said I'd play Scout on Dust Bowl, and I ended up playing Medic on, Venice or something. I don't remember the map name. It started on Soldier. I ended on Medic. I did a lot better as Medic. I'm curious. What will I play next time? Because I think it's fun to make a prediction. The clips that I use for TF2 are entirely unrelated to what I say. It's purely about convenience and where I play best, which Really, I tend not to record when I'm playing best because I'm just in the moment. But anyway, yeah. Also, feel free to challenge me on all of these points. I'm doing this to further my expression and my my ability to form thoughts spontaneously and then, yes, say them. I am probably saying a lot of things that are factually incorrect or illogical, depending on the nature of their, root, or their subject. So please, down in the comment section, just rail on me. I, it's what I'm here for. Teach me something I didn't know. Give me that elite ball knowledge. Okay, my prediction for where I'm going to be playing next. My prediction is I'll be running Spy. It's going to be Spy on Upward. I'll be running Spy on Upward the next time you see me for this next video. This video, technically. Anyway, this one's 2 minutes longer than the last one. I think I can cut it here. Bye-bye.